Rift is an upcoming next-gen fantasy AAA Western MMO. Whew, that was a mouthful. It's being developed by newcomer Trion Worlds, but don't let their cheesy logo fool you. This company means serious business. Trion is releasing Rift as, quote, a full-featured MMO. Basically, that means they want to compete with World of Warcraft. I had a chance to play the beta over the weekend, and I'm going to give you an in-depth preview of what this game is all about, and whether it's going to be able to compete with the king of MMOs, and the other heavy hitters that are coming out this year. Rift takes place in the world of Telara. This is a dangerous land currently under siege by various planes of reality. Evil creatures from these other planes enter Telara through tears in time and space called rifts. This is the premise of the game, but before we go into more detail, let me walk you through character creation. Players are presented with a choice of two factions, the Guardians and the Defiant, the good guys and the bad guys. After choosing a faction, players can choose between 4 classes: Warrior, Cleric, Mage, or Rogue. I know what you're thinking, 4 classes, that's it? Hold on, don't get ahead of me. When you get in the game, the first thing you do is choose a specialization under your class. These are called souls. There are 8 to choose from under each class, giving you a total of 32 classes to choose from right from the start. Yeah, 32. But I'm not done. After your first couple of quests, you start to realize the depth of the customization that's going to go into your character. As if giving you 32 classes wasn't enough, Rift allows you to choose a couple more. A couple means 2. In other words, you're going to choose 3 souls from underneath your class to define your character. Let me do the math for you. 4 classes, each choosing 3 souls from 8, equals 56 variants for each class. That's a total of 224 different combinations. And I'm not done. In most other MMOs, picking a class means you have access to all the skills that class offers. Not so in Rift. Picking a class just allows you the option of taking skills from that class. Allow me to explain. Every time you level up, you get 1 or more points. You can spend points on what World of Warcraft players would call the talent tree. On this screen, the top portion is known as the branches, while the bottom portion is known as the roots. Spending points on the branches unlocks skills in the roots. You can't spend in points in the roots, they're just there to show you what you can unlock as you spend points. Every soul's unique and distinctly interesting, and has about 30 skills available to be unlocked. I hope you're starting to understand what this means. I can spend all my points in one soul, or I can split them up however I want. I can be a full-blown necromancer if I want, or I can sprinkle in some elemental spells. Or I can be a 3-class hybrid. The potential for class variation here is virtually endless. And I'm not done. Rift also gives you the opportunity to have alternate roles. Now, a role is a selection of 3 souls, as you can see here. If I change to another role, I clear up my soul slots and can choose 3 other souls and respend my points as I wish. You're allowed to purchase up to 4 roles. Altaholics, this is your game. Now, before I mentioned that there were 224 different combinations of classes to choose from, including roles quadruples that number, giving each individual class archetype 224 different variants, for a grand total of 896 in the game. Adding to that variation, as I said before, is the option to spend points within those souls as you see fit. And each archetype also gets its own PvP soul, which totally throws off my numbers. Whew. So now that we have the class stuff out of the way, let's get back into the world and talk about what you're actually going to be doing with your custom character. This is where Rift is going to feel more familiar. The quest and leveling system should be standard to other MMO players. Kill 10 rats and collect 12 skulls and the other common quest types. The quest progression is fairly seamless and guides the character through to the various quest hubs. Where this game takes a left turn, however, is with the in-game dynamic events. In-game what? Rifts open up randomly throughout the world, and out of these rifts pours evil creatures from the alternate planes of reality. If you approach a rift, a quest is automatically added to your tracker. Simply contributing to these objectives qualifies you for special rewards upon completion of the rift event. More contribution equals greater rewards. There are different types of rifts, and they spawn all over the place at different times. And getting involved really helps to break up the quest grind. In addition to rifts, there's also different invasions that occur. Dangerous monsters will invade and wander through the zones, laying waste to anyone not paying enough attention. Large groups will be required to take down these powerful beings, but again, while arranging a group may be helpful, it's not strictly necessary. You simply need to be there and contribute to the objective in order to be rewarded. These dynamic events really make walking through Talara a dangerous task. Traveling and questing in groups is rewarded, along with simply being aware of your surroundings. These invaders will kill NPCs and even quest givers, forcing you to adapt to what's going on around you. PvP in Rift comes in both open world and instance flavors. I wasn't able to see much open world PvP in my limited playtime, aside from me running into the Defiant Zone and attempting to interrupt their closing of a rift. And I was only able to participate in one of the PvP instances. This was a variation of Capture the Flag, in which the faction that holds the flag will earn points over time. Overall, what you'll notice a lot about this game is how clean and polished it is, even 6 weeks before release. The interface is an improvement over other games in a lot of subtle ways. For instance, when you enter combat, your health and mana bars appear over your head and the head of your opponent, keeping your eyes on the action instead of constantly looking to the upper left of your screen. Skill animation and effects are incredible. Not only do different skills have unique animations, but switching out different types of weapons will actually change the animation your character will perform with the same skill. If you haven't figured it out yet, my overall impression of the game this weekend was extremely positive. Do I think it's a WoW killer? Well, that's a phrase I feel like gets tossed around a lot too often these days and is mostly irrelevant. This game isn't going to kill WoW, but that's not really the point, is it? There's enough of a market in this genre for this game to be very competitive. Trion is positioning Rift as a AAA full-featured MMO, and as of 6 weeks before release, it's my opinion that they're going to deliver on that promise.